But if I got
you will cheat. You will cheat.
Hey, look, everybody keep saying I'm cheating for no reason.
Good. Nice composure, good. Two underneath when he leans on you. Don't give him time. That's it.
Come on.
Terence Crawford stopped by Anthony Joshua's camp before the Jake Paul fight, sparking excitement across the boxing world. Crawford spent time observing Joshua's training closely. Their interaction shows just how serious Joshua is about his preparation, bringing in top experts to boost his performance. Having a pound-for-pound star in the camp adds extra focus and intensity as fight night draws near.
Good. Good. Nice composure, good. Two underneath when he leans on you. Don't give him time.
Anthony Joshua is always eager to gain new experiences and learn from every fighter he meets. He studies different styles closely and takes in every lesson to improve his own approach. This mindset helps him grow stronger and more well-rounded in each training camp.
A happy fighter is a good fighter. And each individual, uses different things and finds out different ways to keep them occupied and keep them happy. And for me, it was just...
Anthony Joshua drives himself through intense workouts built to strengthen his body and sharpen his reflexes. He takes deep ice baths to reduce inflammation and recover quickly so he can give every session his full effort. After recovery, he moves into demanding drills that challenge his power speed and focus. Every part of this routine reflects his dedication to training at the highest level. Plemons, the combat sports analyst, has a clear take on how Anthony Joshua should approach Jake Paul. He says this isn't a fight where Joshua should feel things out or drag the action for show. Wade emphasizes that Joshua needs to act decisively and finish the fight without letting it go into unnecessary rounds. His reasoning is simple: a heavyweight with Joshua's experience and reputation cannot give Jake Paul extra time in the ring. Wade warns that a prolonged fight could raise questions and damage Joshua's image. He believes the best approach is an early finish to protect his standing. With so many eyes on this matchup, from casual fans to influencer boxing followers, Joshua must set a firm tone from the first bell. He has the advantage in size, experience, and power, and Wade insists the smartest way to handle this fight is with a quick and clean victory.
Which I think could be a little bit of a feeling out first round for AJ too. Then Jake wins to me. And I know that sounds like, oh, but it's true, bro. AJ shouldn't be going rounds with Jake. He just shouldn't. That's a two-time world champion. You know what I'm saying?
Olympic gold medalist,
gold medalist, two-time world champion. You shouldn't be going rounds with Jake. Jake hasn't fought anybody in, I don't know where they currently rank Tommy Fury, but he hasn't fought anybody in the top 50 in any weight division he's participated in. Mm-hmm. So if that guy's going 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds with you, cooked. But I think if you're putting money on it, I would say but AJ round 3 maybe.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Everybody's kind of jumping on the AJ round 2. And I'm like, Jake's tough. Could he use his feet for a little bit longer than people imagine? Is it going to be tougher for AJ to land on him early? Maybe. But I think at a certain point, the cat corrals the mouse a little bit. But we'll see, dude. Who knows? Jake's got some good guys in camp. He brought in Lawrence Okoli. Mm-hmm. Big Lawrence Okoli now, too. Did you see him?
They were. I remember being in Dubai like 3 years ago. Do you remember 3 years ago when we were? Commentated, for Deji vs Merva. Yeah. And funny enough, from that fight week, Jake Paul went and hung out, went shooting of AJ. Yeah. I think laser tag of AJ.
Yeah.
3 years ago on the same week.
Wild. That entire week now is coming to full fruition. It was here in Dubai. It was Jake on commentary. First time I had met Jake, talking shit to Tommy Fury. Lawrence Okoli was on commentary with me, and I was like, how are you a cruiserweight? Because at that time, he was still a cruiserweight, and I was like, how the fuck are you a cruiserweight? You're massive. And sure enough, now he's 265-pound heavyweight. He's way too big, by the way. But, he's got Lawrence in camp. He's got Jared Anderson in camp. What's supposed to have been our...
Anthony Joshua's camp for the Jake Paul fight shows a very different approach from his usual training. Joshua, a former unified heavyweight champion, is known for strict routines, planned sessions, and controlled sparring. This camp, however, takes a new direction. The intensity is higher, the pace faster, and the changes in style show that he is treating Jake Paul very seriously. Anthony Joshua, revealing a weight of around 110 kilograms or about 243 pounds, quickly became a major talking point. For most of his career, he hasn't needed to make big changes to his weight, staying in a range that suited his style. This time, however, it became clear he had dropped roughly 20 pounds in a short period, which raised concerns among analysts. Cutting that much weight at this stage of his career is challenging. In his mid-30s, Joshua faces greater strain on his body, affecting strength recovery, hydration, and overall performance. The move shows how seriously he is taking the Jake Paul fight, but also highlights the risks. Losing weight may improve his speed, but could also lessen some of the natural power and presence he's relied on for years. Finding the right balance is key, especially against a lighter, fast, and active opponent. Joshua seems to be striking that balance. Light enough to move well, but still heavy enough to keep the strength that makes him a serious threat.
Fundamentally, you're still living life as normal. You're not restricting yourself that much. You know, if you're eating 2 pieces of chicken, maybe you just eat a piece. You see what I mean? You're not going to the extreme to try and actually dehydrate yourself or anything like that. It's very different than having to actually hit a specific weight, all right? And to do that in a relatively short space of time, because this fight's, not that long has it been announced, and it's not that long until the fight. It's only 2 weeks away. Eddie Hearn was talking about AJ weighing 265 a couple of days ago. So you're thinking, okay, 20 pounds in 3 weeks? That's not ideal for someone who, again, is in their mid to late 30s, a year in activity, and crucially has never had to hit a specific weight throughout the course of his career. Never had to do it. All right. So it did have me kind of worrying a little bit and thinking, is this a miscalculation, accepting that? Because in terms of him fighting Jake Paul, he's going to win. I mean, there's no ifs about it. He's going to win this fight. It's pretty much a given. All right. But it did have me wondering. Now, AJ, as I said, he took to his social media accounts to show that he's currently weighing 110.6 kg, which is around about 243 US pounds. So that's well under the weight limit. So a lot of people are saying, slam dunk, it's done. Well, I got a few questions on that, because you do have to ask these questions. You're talking about Anthony Joshua, who over the course of the last, 3 years has been solid in the 250s. Hasn't weighed sub 240 or sub 250 since he fought Usyk 3 years ago. And bear in mind, he would have went into camp fully intending to be mobile, speed. He would have spent 3, maybe 4 months working on, what's an ideal weight for that, working on this, that, and the other. So it's not like, a crash diet for the Usyk fight or anything like that. And AJ is someone who loves the resistance training. That seems to be the main thing that he does. And outside of camp, he probably would have thought he was fighting Cassius Chaney, which is the name that a lot of people have.
Froch, the former super middleweight champion known for speaking his mind, gives his take on why the Jake Paul fight could make sense for Joshua. Froch sees Joshua entering the later stage of his career with a long list of achievements, world title, stadium shows, and major pay-per-view events. There aren't many meaningful fights left that haven't already happened. In Froch's view, taking on Jake Paul isn't a bad career choice. It secures a huge payday and still draws global attention. He also points to the chance Joshua could face Tyson Fury afterward, which would be one of boxing's biggest fights if it happens. After that, Froch believes there may not be much left for Joshua to chase in the sport. He doesn't criticize the decision, but frames it as a smart financial move at the right time. Fighters have to take the opportunities that come their way, and with Joshua's legendary resume, this fight is more about business and entertainment than legacy.
And for me, he's found his limit now, found his level. So now he needs to look at his health and look at what he's got after boxing. And if he can make 50 mil, whatever he's making, to fight fucking in the clown world against the clown show, do you know what I mean? Then take the money, man. Yeah. Take it and go and live your life. I can't see AJ fighting for a world title again. I don't know who he fights and who he would beat and how we would get that desire back to become a world champion. But Eddie Hearn's got to sell it and try and say AJ's going to be world champ again. 3-time world champ, but I'm not buying into that bullshit. I think AJ's had a great career. He's done massive things for professional boxing, and now he's at the end of his career and he's cashing out. So who can blame him? I'd do exactly the same at the end of my career. I'd fight fucking Jake Paul for mega money and then drop the mic and then go home. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to knock him for doing it.
As much as you say that his career is maybe done after this, he has obviously made the jump, left Ben Davison, gone to Usyk. Do you think that could maybe reignite a flame in AJ? Maybe change something that you might not believe is there at the moment?
No, he's too old. Too old. I've been 36, 37 years old, but I've never had 150 million quid in the bank. Do you know what I mean? And I think the combination of his age, the fact that he's been flattened a couple of times, and now he's making mega money. Why is he going to try and become a world champion again? he's got to train for 10 weeks and spar really hard sparring. And then he's got to get in the ring on Fight Night with 10-ounce gloves against somebody like Dubois, or he's not going to fight Usyk again. Maybe he sticks around and fights Tyson Fury, because that's another commercial mega fight, which is actually fighting somebody who's on the same level.
Johnny Nelson, the former cruiserweight champion and Sky Sports analyst, offers a different perspective on this fight. While many focus on what Joshua should do, Nelson looks at what could happen to Jake Paul if things go wrong. He is genuinely concerned that Jake could suffer serious consequences if he takes heavy shots from a fighter with Joshua's size and punching power. Nelson notes that Jake has improved a lot since entering boxing, but facing a former heavyweight champion is a completely different challenge. The power at heavyweight is unlike anything Jake has dealt with before. Nelson warns that one wrong moment in this fight could have serious effects on Jake's health and long-term career.
For AJ, I'm stuck in between. Because nobody on this green earth would actually turn down 50, 60 million to fight Jake Paul. And people that don't like this will probably watch it because they want to see Jake Paul getting knocked out. So what does it say about AJ and what does it say about Jake Paul? I think I was thinking upside down. For AJ, I thought, Mama's cashing out. He's cashing out because he's going down this mimic line. But I thought, in reality, is he? Realistically, he's thinking, you know what, this big mouth YouTuber stroke boxer has the cheek to call me out. I'd be pissed off at that, if I'm honest with you. I'd be upset if I was AJ, thinking, that's disrespect, man. You think you can deal with me? But he didn't. AJ was jovial and he commended Jake Paul's business acumen, saying, we've sat down, the deal's been done. But still, it just leaves an odd taste in your mouth. So as long as AJ gets the job done, and I mean gets the job done, shows his world-class pedigree and wipes this boy out, then everybody's happy. But how does it enhance his career? The only way it enhances his career is financially. That's it. No other way. There's no props from beating Jake Paul, apart from saying, thank God you shut him up. For Jake Paul now, I got to give this boy props, because he now has our attention and the whole world is talking about Jake Paul. I want to say a big thanks to our sponsors, Bet Goodwin, for supporting that boxing show. Now, if you're interested in having a little flutter, or as I call it after my dad, Benji's Bets, Bet Goodwin's the place to be. Check out Bet Goodwin using the QR code on the screen. I'm probably 90% thinking the fight's going to happen, but I'm struggling. I'm thinking, this boy can't be so stupid. But then you hear a whisper. You hear a whisper that Jake Paul himself might be cashing out, because the big purses that he's pulling, fighting these has-beens or ex-fighters, they're dropping slowly but surely. So maybe, just maybe, this might be his last fight, getting in there with Anthony Joshua and getting knocked out. But there's always that conspiracy theory. Are there some contract agreements that can and cannot be done, which will never see the light of day, that we don't know about? Well, if you're an ex-fighter and if you like the fight game, you'll see fake. You'll know fake when you see it. So if there's any of that fakery going on with this, pulling a shot, taking it easy, giving man a bit of a break.
Anderson, one of America's rising heavyweight stars known for his power and fast pace, plays a key role in Joshua's training. Young and aggressive, he pushes Joshua to stay alert at all times. Sparring with someone who applies constant pressure helps Joshua sharpen his reactions and improve his defense. Anderson tests every weakness, punishing slow responses and exposing mistakes immediately. This keeps Joshua ready for anything Jake Paul might throw at him. Even though Jake is smaller, training with Anderson improves reflexes, timing, and confidence in the ring.
Paul's being dwarfed by these way bigger heavyweights like Jared Anderson, Frank Sanchez, and Lawrence Okoli. Okoli is like 6'4.5", 6'5", and these guys are like 6'3", 6'4", probably. So now Jake Paul is the one that's smaller. So first of all, I will give credit to Jake Paul. Clearly, he's a person who is taking his career seriously. These are quality sparring. I mean, a real boxer, because people say he's not a real boxer, but a real boxer would be using the same guys in their sparring camp. In fact, I just told you Joshua used Lawrence Okoli. I don't know if he sparred with Anderson or Frank Sanchez, but these are all regular ranked heavyweights. So credit to Jake Paul for that. And I mean, he's going to need it. Joshua is a different breed to, like, a Mike Perry when it comes to boxing. Different frame, different size, case you didn't believe me, right? Jake Paul, this is what MVP Promotions posted. So Jake Paul top sparring, right? Heavyweights. And here's some pictures of Joshua with Lawrence Okoli. And again, Joshua, a big dude, but you see Lawrence Okoli, and he probably was cruiserweight back then. I mean, I don't know exactly when this picture was taken, but he's only like an inch shorter than Anthony Joshua. And now, as he's moved up to the full heavyweight, he has filled out more. You see, he looks even bigger than when he was a cruiserweight. Now, I gotta research it, but I want to say I thought Lawrence Okoli was injured, but again, I'm not his doctor.
Anthony Joshua recently spoke about Francis Ngannou turning down a chance to fight Jake Paul, calling it a questionable financial move. Joshua pointed out that in boxing, offers like that rarely come, especially for fighters who aren't fully established. Passing up such a payday could mean missing an opportunity that might never come again. Chael Sonnen, former UFC star and outspoken MMA analyst, agreed. He said Ngannou should have taken the fight because the financial reward was significant and rare, adding that Jake Paul's matches bring exposure and money that most fighters from outside boxing don't usually get.
Ngannou does not take the fight against Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua takes the fight against Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua at the press conference gets asked his opinion of Francis not taking the fight against Jake Paul. And Joshua's like, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. There is no reason for him to not take this match. I cannot be and am not mad at Francis. I can't be. Like rules would preclude me from being upset with Francis. I'm not a big Francis fan. Francis fan. I'm not a Francis supporter. So I want to hurt Francis. I want to do something to hurt him. Well, his own actions took $10 million out of his bank account, of which, by the way, could use $10 million. So I can't be mad at him. If I teased him, and by God, get in there and he go, oh my gosh, I heard Chael and I heard from all the Eagles, and what was I thinking? And Joshua's out, and this is my chance of redemption. Hey, put me in, Jake. That would then help him. That would be positive for Francis. That would create envy as well as jealousy from outside observers like me. But I will tell you, trying to break down and understand how we got to this conclusion is mind-boggling. You ever met a writer? Your whole life, have you ever met a writer? Maybe went to college for it and they're a writer. Do you want to know the hardest thing in the world that person's going to have to do to make money? Find somebody to pay them to write. It's very...
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more. Until next time.